Alright, y'all. So look, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who created the first black market on the dark web has been pardoned by Donald Trump. We finna see. What's crazy about this? He's been in prison since GTA 5 been released. Like 15 years later, he got out GTA 5. Still though, they ain't make another game. So look, we finna see what's going on with this video. Hopefully they show how you react to the outside world. Probably not though. I ain't gonna lie. But let's get straight to it and see what happens. Bro.
To life in prison back in 2013.
And they gave him life. The only reason he out now because he got pardoned. 2013, I had a flip phone. Fuck.
For creating a website, but in a few weeks, he might be free.
And if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht.
In 2011, Ross Ulbricht created a website
Called the Silk Road. I'm not letting you steal my spotlight. Alright, so peep. Back to 2013 or whatever, he created it. Somewhere where you could buy anything you want, a black market. The currency they was using was Bitcoin, untraceable, you know. But people started doing crazy shit. Now I don't know if let people do this crazy ass shit or it just went out of hand. But the black market, you can sell anything, literally. Sell one of my dreads, one of my fingers, a lot of shit. It ain't limited to just that neither. Let's get straight back to the video.
website called the Silk Road.
Yes, sir, the Silk Road. And if y'all play GTA, depending on in the DLC they added, it's called like Open Road or something. It's on GTA. I want to say the Biker DLC or something. You gotta sell stuff on the Silk Road. I ain't gonna tell you what stuff. Y'all know what stuff I'm talking about on GTA.
Which is basically the Amazon for drugs. It was a place where you could buy and
Not just limited drugs. I told you can get fingers on the
sell drugs completely online without anybody knowing. This was a crazy idea back in the day because, first of all, people didn't think it was possible to literally buy drugs online and have them delivered to your door. A lot of people thought it was a scam, but it was completely legit. In fact, it even operated kind of like a normal business. It had reviews, trusted sellers. Now, personally, I was a huge fan of the Silk Road.
He was buying that white shit. He was buying that other shit.
The actual website. I never used it, of course. But the story is fascinating. There's even a book about it, and it's very, very interesting. So,
what'd that say?
But the story is fascinating. There's even a book.
American Kingpin, Nick Bilton. The Epic Hunt for the Criminal Mastermind Behind the Silk Road. New York Times bestseller. Authored by Hatching Twitter. What is Hatching Twitter? Was his last name Twitter? Why the fuck was his last name Twitter?
About it, and it's very, very interesting. So Ross was this young man who, like all of us, wanted to change the world. He had some big plans, and well, actually, he had no plans. He didn't even know what he wanted to do with his life. I think
It be like that. It say Ross Ulbricht, investment advisor and entrepreneur, Austin, Texas area, financial services, previous good wagon books, Pennsylvania State University, education, Pennsylvania State University. So they got this nigga on Indeed. Was this is Indeed profile?
ran a charity, a bookstore. He tried to do a bunch of things, but none of them really succeeded. Now, Ross was also a libertarian. He believed that the government was too involved in people's lives. And I guess that makes sense. I mean, if you're an adult, if you can make your own decisions, and there's a whole bunch of old people that you've never even met, and they're telling you what you can and cannot do, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when the
Bro, you telling me I can't order my special packages off Amazon?
the things that you do don't affect other people at all. So that's basically what he believed. He thought that people should have complete freedom over everything they do. You know, as long as you're not harming anyone else, then it's okay. Now, Ross, at this point, he also grew little mushrooms.
Oh, he was selling that shit. But see, that shit got bad. Let's see if he explained it all the way. Cause they ain't just stop with fingers. They sell little ones. Y'all could whatever y'all think little ones see, start it down in the comments. I'll let y'all know if y'all right.
On the side, and these were not just any mushrooms, they were special mushrooms. So from the beginning, he was always a little bit sus. He was not afraid to bend the rules and grow his little mushrooms. But even though he had his little mushrooms, he still didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. But then, two things happened which would change the world. First, the Tor browser came out. Now, the Tor browser is like an internet browser, but it's completely anonymous. It uses some special technology. It was actually built by the government, but it became very popular, and it was a way that you could access the internet without anybody knowing your real identity. And this allowed for the dark web. And the dark web, I'm sure you know what it is. It's a completely anonymous internet.
Hold on, let's go back to that picture real quick. All right, so you got the surface web that everybody sees. You got the deep web. They say invitation only, semi-bad guys / advanced guys. Okay, just like advanced users. Just like if you know what you're doing type shit. Now, dark web, as y'all can see, it say purposely hidden and accessible through standard browsers. Like you can't access this through like Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, none of them. If you go on Tor browsers and actually look up something, you can find stuff from, okay, I'm not gonna give y'all all the sauce because YouTube go get on me. But like, let's say you want somebody Netflix login. You want somebody Netflix account. 9 times out of 10, you can find it. I ain't gonna count. When I was younger, I'm 22 now. When I was younger, most definitely was using that. Because not only can you get I was getting people I ain't gonna say that. But look, you get security. Let's say you don't want to pay the $60 a month. Security. Now you could look it up on Tor browser and then you go log in. But forget what security was, but yeah, they had premium security access for free. Like, and yeah, you sharing it with other people because this shit public, like public knowledge. If you know how to get to the website and log in, you know they give you the username and password, bro. Now, if you try to log into other shit, I don't know what to tell you, bro. But I was using a security.
Or the dark web. And the dark web, I'm sure you know what it is. It's a completely anonymous internet where people can just do whatever they want. You could hire a hitman. You could just do illegal things. But there was always one problem. You couldn't really send money.
Tell big boy. What? We are a team of 3. Contract what? Working in the US plus Canada and the EU. Once you made a purchase, we will reply to you within 1 to 2 days. Contract will be completed within 1 to 3 weeks, depending on target. Only rules: no children under 16 and no top 10 politicians. Wow. What? ICE. What the fuck? These niggas ain't give a fuck. Wow, $10,000 was for 74 Bitcoin back then. Are they tweaking, boy? Imagine somebody put a price out on your ass.
You could just do illegal things. But there was always one problem. You couldn't really send money on the dark web without being traced. It's not like you could just use a credit card. But then in 2009, Bitcoin came out and it started to become very popular. And it was this way that you could send money to people completely anonymously without anybody knowing. It was at this moment that Ross Ulbricht saw an opportunity. He wondered if you could make a completely anonymous website where people could buy and sell anything they wanted without the government stepping in. And you might be thinking, why does it need to be completely anonymous? Why should the government not be able to access it? You know, what kind of things would you want to be keeping secret? And the answer is pretty much just drugs and illegal items. It's basically just Amazon, but for illegal stuff. So Ross had this idea, and you know, most people would stop here. Most people would say, all right, that's enough. I'm going to go and I'm going to just, I don't know, play Fortnite. Because running a website like this...
They did not have Fortnite back then. Shit, they even told y'all GTA 5 barely came out. Only think they had online access back then. Shit. Yeah, no. Playing GTA 4, my GTA 4 ain't work. Got halfway through the game, that shit's like tweaking.
If you got caught, you would get in big trouble. But Ross Ulbricht was a different kind of person. You see, he saw my last video about ideas, and he was inspired by it and decided,
the self-promo is crazy. Let's start thus, y'all. He did not see your last video. That should say 19 hours ago. He was most definitely locked up when you dropped that. Okay, we're gonna let you have that.
To go for it. In 2011, he launched the Silk Road.
What?
And
it has, wait, what the fuck?
Decided to go for it. In 2011,
alcohol, apparel, art, body materials, books, collectibles, computer equipment. Toy browser. Bro, this shit was like Windows fucking XP, bro. What the fuck?
11, he launched the Silk Road. And at first, the website was kinda dead. There wasn't a lot of people on it because it was brand new. I mentioned earlier that he grew little mushrooms, right? These little tiny mushrooms. Well, he decided to sell them through the site and test out to see if anyone would buy them. At first, no one trusted the site. They thought it was a scam like all of the other dark web websites. But then some people started ordering the little mushrooms, and when they checked the mail and opened a box, sure enough, there was a little mushroom in there, and word that the site was legit started to spread and more people started using it. It was known as this free place where you could buy and sell anything, and it was completely anonymous. Ross himself also started promoting the website on different forums, but he made a...
This when people start selling booty pics on that. No, I was just playing. Bro. It was OnlyFans for OnlyFans. I'm just joking though. Don't, are you for real, Otto? I don't fucking know, bro. I'm just joking.
Huge mistake here. One that would end up in him getting caught by the FBI. But the site was pretty...
Wait, what he do? Hold on. My booty pics and shit. I came across this website called Silk Road. It's a tour hidden service that claims to allow you to buy and sell anything online anonymously. I'm thinking of buying off it. Wanted to see if anyone here had heard of it or could recommend it. I found it through Silk Road 420.wordpress.com, which if you have Tor browser directs you to the real site at http blah 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 that onion. Let me know what you think. Was it like Reddit for Reddit?
Different forums, but he made a huge mistake here. One that would end up in him getting caught by the FBI. But the site was pretty small, people were slowly joining, but then one thing happened. It got in the news. There was an article written in the news, and it described a strange website, a place where you could buy and sell drugs online. And what do you know? People were interested, and they started to use the website. So the Silk Road exploded in popularity. It started making hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin. In fact, some people think it made over $1 billion, but it did have some problems. You see, Ross taught himself.
That was back in 2010, 13 when Bitcoin first started. How much is that shit equivalent to now? What the fuck?
How to code to build the website, because he couldn't really go and hire someone to build the Silk Road. So he taught himself how to code, but his code wasn't that good, and there were a lot of bugs with the site. He started getting hacked. People even stole millions of dollars from the site. But the biggest threat wasn't hackers, it was the FBI, who finally realized how big the site was getting, and they wanted to shut it down. The hunt for Ross Ulbricht officially began. I won't go into all the little details, but basically an FBI agent made an account on the Silk Road and slid into Ross's DMs. I don't know how, but he was just able to join the site and message the owner. But at one point they became friends, and the agent also became a little bit corrupt, and he would tell Ross if the authorities were onto him.
They got connected and then they got locked in. Yeah, we plugged in, bro. I'll let you know who come after you. Give me a little bit of them. The magic, what's it called? Grab me some.
And that way, Ross could always remain 2 steps ahead. There was also a moment where Ross ordered 9 fake IDs off the Silk Road, and the cops intercepted the package and they showed up at his door. And he basically told them, I didn't order any fake IDs, but if I wanted a fake ID, there's this website you can go to. It's called the Silk Road, and you can buy anything you want. He literally advertised the website to them, and they left him alone. But yeah, there was a lot of back and forth between Ross and different accounts on the Silk Road, and some of them were law enforcement. And there was also a time where law enforcement got him to order multiple murders. Now, the murders never happened, so basically he got scammed. But that was one of the reasons why his prison sentence is so long. But anyway.
So they, damn, who the fuck he was trying to get though? The fuck?
Anyways, Ross was on top of the world. He was making millions of dollars off of the Silk Road. He was just living his best life. But then someone came along and ruined it all. And of course I'm talking about the IRS. So there was this IRS agent
They wanted they tax dividends, bro. They wanted they cut. They not going for none of that shit that the FBI going for. Nigga, you finna pay this $50 million in taxes.
who I guess was a little bored because he decided to do some investigating on the Silk Road to try and find who owned the website. And what he decided to do was look for the oldest posts about the site on the internet, because whoever made the first post talking about the site maybe had a connection to the owner. So he literally just Googled Silk Road and then sorted the results by oldest. And he came across the first posts that Ross made about the Silk Road on these forums. Remember I mentioned that he made a mistake? Well, his mistake was he used his personal email to make these posts. Ross
Hello, sorry if this is another thread for this kind of post, but I couldn't find one. I'm looking for the best and brightest IT pro in the Bitcoin community to be the lead developer in a venture-backed Bitcoin startup company. The ideal candidate will have at least several years of web application development experience, having built applications from the ground up. A solid understanding of the OOP and software architecture is a must. Experience in a startup environment is a plus, or just super hardworking, self-motivated, and creative. For a dark market, it's great. Black market, I mean. Compensation can be in the form of equity or salary or somewhere in between. If interested, please send your answers to the following questions to rossUbrick@gmail.com. What are your qualifications for this position? What interests you about Bitcoin? From there, we can talk about things like compensation and references, and I can answer your questions as well. Thanks in advance to any interested parties. If anyone knows another good place to recruit, I am all ears. Boy, he lucky, boy. I was like 8 years old, boy. Boy, let me would have found this. I would have learned how, boy. Would have been cold and made his ass a website. You know how much Bitcoin worth now? What? Give me 100 Bitcoin? How much? 100 Bitcoin times. Hold on, let me see something. What the shit at? 100,000? Motherfucker. 100 Bitcoin times. Y'all might be like, oh, you stupid little motherfucker. What is that, like a million? 100 million? Let me just. Oh, that's 10 million. Would have been set, bro. Quality. What? This quality of this video would have been. What? What?
to
Well, I would have been wearing a suit doing this video.
make these posts. RossUlbricht@gmail.com. So at this point,
And he had his real email. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, Lord, Lord.
you know, they were kind of onto him. At least they had a name, and they looked into him a little bit. Maybe they could find out more information. So as you can see, this is his LinkedIn profile, which is still up right now. You can visit this on LinkedIn. Now, for his career, it looks like he put entrepreneur instead of drug lord, but this part is really sus.
Wait, what the fuck? Say, what the fuck? I see slavery has been abolished everywhere.
Entrepreneur instead of drug lord, but this
I love learning and use theoretical constructs to better understand the world around me. Naturally, therefore, I studied physics in college and worked as a research scientist for 5 years. I published my findings in peer-reviewed journals 5 times over that period, first on organic solar cells and then in EUO, thin film crystals. My goal during this period of my life was simply to expand the frontier of human knowledge. Now my goals have shifted. I want to use economic theory as a means to abolish the use of coercion. Course, fuck. Y'all let me know how the fuck that shit pronounced. And aggression amongst mankind. Just as slavery has been abolished most everywhere, I believe violence, question, and all forms of force by one person over another can come to an end. The most widespread and systematic use of force is amongst institutions and governments. So this is my current point of effort. The best way to change the government is to change the mind of the governed. However, today I am creating economic simulations to give people a first-hand experience of what it would be like to live in a world without systemic use of force. Without the systemic use of force. Okay, yeah, I fucked up at the end. But yeah, number, what y'all think?
part is really sus. I am
Once again,
creating an
hey, look, at least he ain't, you feel me? At least he ain't racist. Hey, that's a plus. There we go. Like he was just trying to like create shit, like what he did through that little hit. See, but no, it can't. What y'all think about this shit? This shit crazy.
Economic simulation to give people a first-hand experience of what it would be like to live in a world without the systemic use of force. So he basically just described the Silk Road. But yeah, so eventually they were able to track him down, and they waited outside of a library that he was in. He was doing some work on the Silk Road. You know, he was a very hardworking man, okay? So he was sitting in this library working on the Silk Road, just a normal day, and the FBI surrounded the library. And what they did was actually kind of genius, right? It was kind of like a Darman skit. So basically everybody in the library that day was an agent except for him, and they were all just actors. And what happened is they staged a fight between a man and a woman right behind him while he was on his laptop. So he turned around to check out, what was going on, and then another FBI agent swooped in and grabbed the laptop off of his desk. And because it was still open, they were able to access every single thing on it. Nothing was encrypted or locked at all, so they found all of the evidence right there. All of the chat logs. There was
Well, they just staged and finessed his ass, bro. 30 people in the library, they all FBI agents. But you? They staged a fight between them. That's crazy. That's crazy.
even a journal entry that Ross had kept up about what it was like running the Silk Road, and they got their hands on that. So it was a little bit hard for him to say that he was innocent. And yeah, he was given 2 life sentences without
Yeah. Hey, that's Ross ass right there. At least they got black people in their group.
parole, which is kind of like getting banned from Discord, but you can't appeal the ban. But instead of Discord, it's real life. But the only thing worse
You know he white. He compared that shit to Discord.
than life in prison is being active on Twitter. And he's still
I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking. It's a joke. It's a joke. No race. No race. It's a joke.
active on Twitter to this day. And there's also this entire movement called Free Ross. A lot of people think the sentence that he was given was too harsh. After all, he never killed anyone. I mean, maybe some of the drugs did on the site, but people still thought that, using the Silk Road was safer than buying stuff on the streets. Ross may not have been the perfect human being, but he definitely didn't deserve life in prison. But this is where the story ends, until a few days ago, because Donald Trump is now president and he promised to free Ross from prison. Now, this is kind of random, but you never know. Maybe Trump was a big fan of the Silk Road. Maybe he even used it to buy things back in the day. In my opinion, I think this is a good move. I'm not a fan of people sitting in prison their whole life if they never harmed anyone. And of course, you could say that drugs bought on the site harmed people, but he does seem like a changed man, and obviously if he gets out of prison and starts Silk Road 2.0, they'll just put him back, so might as well free him and see what happens. And of course, if he gets out of prison, he might just end up on the Talk to a podcast. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this
What's a damn talk to a podcast? That Kim Jong-un? What the fuck?
prison. He might just end up on the Talk to a
This nigga. Wow. Is that the Hawk Tour girl? With Kim Jong-un? Yeah, alright, y'all. So that's this the end of the video. This pissed me off right here. This shit pissed me off.
podcast. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this story. Comment below if you think that Ross should be free from prison, or if you disagree and think he should be banned from life forever. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Banned from life forever is crazy. But yeah, as he just said, do y'all think he should be free? No, I'm just, do y'all think he should be free, or do y'all think he should be locked up? 'Cause, yeah, it's true he didn't harm nobody, and they say that hitman shit did not take place. I don't know if he ain't go through with it, or it's just cause like the FBI. But he didn't harm nobody doing the shit he was doing. Nigga, get out. Come on, we arguing everything but GTA 6. 2 life sentences without parole. But nah, yeah, that's the end of the video. Let me know what y'all think. Is it free Ross Ulbricht? I say if he ain't hurt nobody, free him, bro. These people out here doing all type of crazy shit. But yeah, it's Otto. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out.